You know, Governor Katie Hobbs has been an outspoken critic of President Trump's budget package, but now that that is law, state lawmakers now need to decide how much of the federal tax changes they should incorporate into people's state tax returns. Hobbs says she welcomes some changes, but she says others will be subject to negotiation. Throughout the year, you've been very consistent in your opposition to President Trump's big, beautiful bill. You've called it dangerous, devastating, yet now you're calling on state lawmakers to adopt some of the same tax breaks in the state tax code. What changed?
Nothing changed in my opposition to many of the provisions of the Washington budget, but this is something that I'm happy to get behind, excited to get behind.
Governor Katie Hobbs is getting behind 5 tax breaks for middle-class earners, increasing the standard deduction by $750, giving seniors an extra $6,000 write-off, and allowing Arizonans to deduct tips, eligible overtime, and interest on auto loans for American-made cars.
I hear from Arizonans all the time that costs are too high, their budgets are tight, and this is a tax cut for middle-class Arizonans.
Republicans like State Senator J.D. Mesnard have accused Hobbs of trying to take a victory lap on the GOP's work. If the legislature adopts the middle-class tax cuts package, who should get the credit?
Look, I am not about taking credit. I am about delivering for Arizonans.
Republicans would like to incorporate more breaks from the big, beautiful bill into the state tax code, including write-offs that benefit businesses and high earners. Can Arizona afford all of the Trump tax cuts?
We'll have to talk about that when we do budget negotiations with the Republicans. The fact is that they passed a budget in Washington that slashes Medicaid, that slashes food assistance in favor of tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. And if we want to enact those tax cuts here, then I need the Republicans to figure out how they're going to pay for that.
The governor's middle-class tax breaks are projected to cost the state $210 million this fiscal year. Incorporating all the federal changes could cost $438 million. Would you want to see concessions from Republicans in return, like protections for Medicaid, like changes to school vouchers?
When it comes to negotiating what's best for Arizonans, I think everything is on the table. Those are things I have fought for, and I think Arizonans deserve reforms in the school voucher system, and they deserve access to health care. Governor Hobbs is calling on the Republican-controlled legislature to pass her package of tax cuts right at the start of the session, so it's ready to go when people start filing their taxes next year. She's issued an executive order, so there's some early guidance on these tax breaks in place. I asked the governor if she'd be willing to shut down the state government if Republicans won't negotiate with her. You can hear her answer right now on Arizona's Family, azfamily.com. I'm Derek Staahl for Arizona's Family.